I know, man. I'm trying to lose it. I had like last week. I was pretty tired, but today I beat like a few PRs, which is great in a cut. So
Okay,
I'm still making.
great.
Yeah, I'm still making strength.
Yeah,
I
you're
still
still
got.
macro gaining with your
Mhm.
uh what you're put when you're pushing P, you're still macro gaining. That's good.
I actually got a pretty big PR today. My new calculated 1 rep max for dumbbell bench press is 102 pounds per arm.
Oh shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
2 per arm? Jesus Christ.
yeah, per arm, which is something that made me actually laugh when in the gym because that's a triple digits per dumbbell bench press. That's a big deal.
That was pretty good.
That's a big deal.
Pretty good. Were you able to find your thing, Blake?
That means you're
Mhm.
close to 3 plates, bro.
Bro, I need to get to 2 plates first.
Sam, you all set up?
You could hit 2 plates as a mental block. You can hit two
I
plates.
could. No, you're probably right. I probably could. I think it is a mental break. I don't have any spotters right now, so I don't really want to try it.
Bro, I spot you so fucking hard. Oh
Do it.
god, I gotta get back to the fucking gym, bro.
Do it. Good for
I
you.
know.
You'll feel good. You'll feel great.
Yeah, just gotta pay for it. Actually, that's the only thing that's stopping me right now.
Uh,
I
My
need a
apartment
job
has a
to go to
free
the
gym.
gym, which sucks.
That's
I did
what
body weight before I started going to the gym for a good few months. Because body weights do help your joints a lot.
Anyone not set up yet?
I
I think
should be
I'm
good.
good.
Yeah, I'm all set up. I don't have much to set up anyway.
No, that's fair. I figure pulling up documents just in case. Alright, y'all ready to get into it?
Ooh.
Alright, I will
At your
also
leisure.
be keeping track of time. I'll give us like an actual like break at hour 30 minutes. Because I don't intend for sessions to last longer than 3 hours, like at max.
Okay.
And I just feel like that's a good number, an hour 30 minutes.
I may have to pee a few times in between. I've somehow drank a half gallon of water without peeing in the last 4 hours, which is kind of making me scared.
Do you have to pee yet?
No.
Okay, well, good. You're going up first. So, if we, as a reminder of what happened last session, Kenny and Blake, Corey and Avery, I should say, woke up in the hospital and met a very friendly, well, not a very friendly, but a very communicative doctor, Dr. Smithers, who basically was like, "Yeah, this isn't abnormal. I got a group of friends. It's whatever." Blake gets carted off after trying to escape a few times, and Kenny learns a little bit more about like a meeting that they were going to have in like 2 days' time. Sam, your character, went to the police station and met a guy named Vanilla Bean Jean, who was like, "Yeah, I also kind of know something." You told some stuff to the police, which they didn't really take too seriously. You head home, and then you ended up meeting with them the next day, where they told you the spiel of, "Yeah, we've dealt with this before, but it's never been like this. And we're also old as shit, so we can't fight it as well as we did back when it happened last time." And Blake had an absolutely epic McDonald's RP session after escaping finally from the hospital.
Kenny gave his best performance that day.
He did. I rewatched.
Fucking
Are you lying to me?
funny.
This is fucking fun. I re-listened to that while I was watching, or while I was at work because I was trying to re-catch up and remember everything that happened. And I was fucking putting things in the fryers on a busy time. I just hear, are you lying to me? We were missing a fillet of fish. Are you lying to me,
Don't
ma'am?
lie to me.
I pull out a fillet of fish. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Have a good day. God, it was. We've got some comedic timing. That was some funny shit. I showed that to my mom. That's how fucking proud I was.
Your mama.
I showed it to my
My
mom.
mama.
Yeah.
My mama.
Everyone is in their respective homes with the exception of Kenny, who is spending his last night in the hospital. He's expected to be released tomorrow. To be caught up. Tomorrow is also the day when the Flatters, the group of hippies, are planning on meeting. That Sam, you actually ended up going to their place like a day early, which is why they were a little weirded out that you showed up. But their actual like full like, okay, we need to talk about this actual situation and plan shit out. Time is set for tomorrow. Blake, you are safely home. Sam, you are safely home. Kenny, you are safely at the hospital, or as safe as a hospital can get. And so we'll start off with you, Blake. You get home after a long time in the hospital.
I'm home?
You're home. You made it home. You're eating your McDonald's in the kitchen table.
Oh, yeah.
You're eating your McDonald's, shoveling it in your mouth on the way home, so that as soon as you could get home.
Absolutely starving it down.
That's why I get a 20-piece, so I can have 10 in the car and 10 at home.
10 at home to balance it out. You ate 10 in the car, and when you got home, you were eating them as you were sprinting back to your stream setup, so that you could immediately start your Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes, it is late.
It is
It's a
late.
day late.
And you lost a follower, but you made it up and actually.
Oh my God.
And you actually got rated by another channel that they only had 2 viewers, but it was pretty good.
One of them left.
As per usual, after a ridiculous amount of hours of you playing the game, you just kind of fall asleep in your chair midstream.
Yeah.
Without turning the stream off. And you fall into a deep sleep. And Blake, I'm going to have you do a roll for plus weird. Into the chat.
Roll.
So 2d6 plus 2, I believe, because your weird is plus 2. Because as you fall asleep, you're having some
Yeah, my
weird
plus 2.
dreams. And you didn't have them in the hospital, mostly because you were sedated, maybe. Maybe it was because of that, but you weren't getting it. You got a 9. Okay. This is the first time in a hot second you have not had a doggy roll.
Yeah.
Probably a good place to have it, too. So you have another weird dream where you get almost kind of like this out-of-body experience. You've slept and dreamt before. You know, they're always weird. You get weird shapes. Sometimes there's a jelly bean.
6 dreams a night.
There's sometimes a jelly bean holding the gun, and you're just like, I don't know what this means, what this represents. But
I think that's
sometimes
actually a Jimmy Neutron episode.
that might be that might be a Jimmy Neutron episode. I just dug
I think
up
that
in my
actually
brain.
is.
But this one, much like the one you had from a few nights ago, feels more like an out-of-body experience and a little bit less like an abstract representation of your subconscious. You find yourself, once again, not in your body. And, in fact, you don't know really where you are, but it's dark. And you are looking up at the night sky, and you see the full moon just passing up the horizon as you are walking around in this somewhat barren area. Maybe it's, obviously it's still in somewhere in Alaska, but it's hard to tell immediately. And you're sniffing the ground. And you, suddenly, your head shoots up, and you look directly to your left and start sprinting in this direction. And you feel like you're running for such a long time. Maybe you see some lights off in the distance as you're going, but eventually, you slow down, and you crouch. And you can tell, you're not small. You're actually, like, pretty big-sized. And so you're getting low. You're getting down there, and
Is this like the little boy dream where it's not actually me?
Yeah, you can tell that this feels like an out of body experience. And
Oh.
after approaching the situation a little bit more, you come out of some brush that's nearby, and you can see that it is your house.
Oh.
And
Can I knock
as
on the
soon
door?
as your house comes into frame, kind of, you can see the lights on in your room as your stream continues to play, but it's just kind of an indistinct light. There's a few more random lights on in the house because it's just how some people run their house, and your garage door is just a little bit open. But as this house comes into frame, you jolt awake. It is still ridiculously late at night. And your stream is still running, but you once again, like always, fall out of your chair. But as opposed to wow, that was a weird dream, every hair on your body is standing on end.
Oh no.
What do you do?
What do I do?
You just woken up from this crazy ass dream, and it is
I guess I. Excuse me. I guess I look outside.
you look outside. It's dark. I mean, you can't really see much, but you see the moon just above the horizon. I'll tell you, it does not take much. These dreams, when you have these ones specifically, they're a lot less mysterious and like drifting in and away from your subconscious like regular dreams do, where if you stop thinking about it for 5 minutes, it's gone and it never exists again. These things stick with you.
Yeah.
And the moon is about in the same place in the sky. So whatever that dream was, it seems to be current.
Yeah. Do I see anything outside?
It's dark. You can't really see anything at the moment.
Oh.
But you can remember from your dream, all you saw was the outside of your house from the front of it. The problem is that it is really dark and there aren't a ton of street lights out. But you
I tried.
tried. The one thing that might have caught your attention was actually, wait, no, fuck. Let me check something here real quick. You're looking real hard for something now, right? You think that there's something there?
I mean, if it was in my dream, yeah, I'm gonna see if it was maybe real.
All right. I sometimes I apologize. I'm still kind of new to some of these roles. I'm gonna have you roll again for read a bad situation. This is gonna be your plus your sharp roll.
My sharp is +2.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. So this like investigate a mystery will allow you to ask me very specific questions.
10.
A 10. Okay. On a 10 plus, you can ask me. Do you have the sheet up?
No. Where was that at?
It's in data and information. It is the second sheet.
Reference sheet?
Yeah, the reference sheet. It's very nice for these kinds of things. I keep it up because I forget how some of this stuff works sometimes.
So I can do what?
You just rolled a 10 on read a bad situation, so you can ask me 3 questions, and I will provide you information about the situation. You, Blake, can ask me the 3 questions.
On the bad situation one?
Yeah, on the read a bad situation.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yes. Your eyes are starting to adjust to the darkness, and you can see a dark silhouette slowly, very, very slowly working its way towards your house. It's not heading straight for your window, But it is it is heading for your house in general, and it's hard to tell, but it almost feels like it's looking at you.
Bro, I'm a scaredy cat. I go run up to my mommy and say, "Mommy, there's a man outside."
All right. And to be clear, you get hold 3 on a 10 plus, so you can ask me 3 of these questions, but you can ask me them in any order you want. And to be clear, for any answer I give you, you get +1 on rolls for relevant information. So the fact that you know what this is means that you can.
You said it's a shadow specter, right?
Yeah, some sort of shadowy. You can see that there is something crouch walking towards your house.
Crouch walking.
It is not walking. It is on it. It is on all fours, but it is not the dog you dealt with the other night. It is bigger.
That'll give me the heebie-jeebies.
You said you're gonna go get your mom?
Yeah, dude, I fucking don't like that shit.
Is your dad
Mommy.
still away at military work?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just you and your mom in the house. All right, so
Mama.
you sprint into your mom's room, and what do you do? What are you doing?
Mommy, there's a man outside
Huh?
stalking our house.
What? What do you
Shut
mean
the
there's
fuck
What do you mean there's a man?
Get the fuck up, Mama. There's a
What
man
shit?
outside.
Have you
Yeah,
called the
you don't say-
police?
You call the police.
Okay. She pulls out her phone, and dials 911, and is holding it up to her ear. Yeah.
Go look. Did she even look?
She gets out of bed and hops into the chair next to her next to her bedside and rolls over to the window and takes a look outside, and she's like, where did he see it?
He was hunch walking outside my window.
She's looking out there, but and you're looking out there with. Are you? I assume you're looking out there with her. You don't see it anymore. You
I'm standing behind her though.
huh?
I'm standing behind her though.
Yeah, but you're standing behind her. You can't see it anymore outside of your house.
I said I dreamt it and then I saw it. Seen it.
Like you having a bad dream, sweetie?
No, it was real. I saw the shadow man. Shadow specter was hunching.
Is this about the other night?
No.
Honey, you can tell me what's going on. Like clearly
I told you
something
what's going on.
clearly something happened.
I told you what happened.
I know you talked about the squid dog thing, but and as she says but, you hear a clattering from your garage.
Oh.
She's like, "What was that?" Honey, is there actually something here?
Go check.
Well, all right. She begins working her way over towards the garage, and as she gets closer, you can hear this fumbling, like going around there, and she kind of like there's a few transitions from like carpets to tile in your house, and there's one maybe close to where the door is, and as she kind of crosses over it and her chair clatters against it a little bit, the noises stop, and she takes notice of this too, and proceeds to she reaches for the baseball bat that's sitting next to the door, and she's like, "All right," and she slams on the door. "Get out of here! Hey!" No response from the other end. She looks at you and she's like, it's probably some raccoons, but I don't like it. This shit scares the. Wait, they wouldn't have raccoons. It's probably one of them Arctic foxes getting into our damn garbage again. I swear to God, every goddamn time. What'd you say?
My character's gonna say, is there raccoons in Alaska?
No, there aren't Arctic foxes. They get Arctic foxes. I had to remember that one. And she cracks open the door a little bit and turns on the light into the garage. As she does so, she peers in and nothing happens. She glances around and works her way down the ramp that leads into the garage. Are you following her this time, or are you just staying inside the house?
I feel like I should go get a weapon.
So are you... Where would you have your weapon?
In my dad's room.
In your dad's room?
Because he is a fucking military man.
Are you going to tell her, or are you just going to go get it?
I'm gonna go get it.
Alright.
I'm gonna get a Glock.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Do you have a gun?
My dad has a gun in his bed drawer.
Oh, you have a 9mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you run away from your mom real quick, and once again, don't forget you can still ask me 2 more questions from the read a bad situation. But you run away from your mom real quick and run into your dad's room. And do your parents have separate rooms?
Yeah.
Okay. You run into your dad's room, and you. As you're pulling the gun from the closet, you hear a yelp and a clatter, and then you don't hear anything anymore from the garage.
Oh, mommy got abducted.
Mommy.
You don't
Run
hear
down.
anything.
Run down with my gun.
What do
I
you
guess
what
I
do
also
you
use
do?
how is it dark?
Only as dark. The light's on in the garage. Or the light. Right now you're still in your dad's room. Are you going back
Oh.
out to the garage?
Yeah.
This all happens while you're in your dad's room.
Yeah, I hear the scream and I go towards it with the gun in my hand.
The light is no longer on in the garage. But flicking the light switch doesn't do anything. So, like, the lights in the garage specifically have now been fucked up. And like before, what you noticed from your dream and what you noticed when you glanced in there the first time, the garage door is cracked open. And in addition to that, your mom's wheelchair is sideways on the floor. Without your mom in it.
Uh-oh. I go, Mom! I scream, Mom!
You,
Mom!
you don't hear a response from your mom. But you do hear some slow dragging noises outside and some muffled struggling.
Just so you know, my character was trained by her dad, so she knows how to, like, carry a pistol in one hand and hold a flashlight with the other
Oh yeah.
pretty
No,
well.
I assume if you've marked off a weapon, you are proficient in that weapon.
Yeah, so she's doing that. She has her cell phone light on and the gun in the other hand. She's fucking full on spec ops position. So I investigate the wheelchair area.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to
See if
ask me
there's
another
any-
question from the read a bad situation?
Just to see if I guess because I want to see if there's like any like drag marks or anything.
I mean, she's not in the garage anymore.
Yeah, but the wheelchair is, right?
You could hear the noise coming from outside.
You said the wheelchair's still in the garage.
Yeah, the wheelchair is on its side in the garage. You could
So-
hear the dragging and struggling from outside of the garage at this point.
Oh, so I already know which way it went.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I guess I go towards the noise.
All right. I assume you're not gonna wait for the garage door to open, so you just kind of duck under it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna press the button twice to put it down, and then it stops and it starts going back up? No, it's you do a badass dive roll under the garage
I
door.
scrape my knee.
Skin your knee, but you're really tough about it, and your mom will be really proud. But you,
If she's not dead.
if she's not dead. But as you come outside, you find it is still very dark, and your eyes are still adjusting to the situation. But pointing your flashlight ahead of you reveals your mother, who is. There is some blood coming from her forehead, but she does not appear to be dead. And
Mom, are you okay?
as you say this, you notice that she's moving. And it's because as you move the flashlight and point it a little further up, she is being dragged. And this is the first time that you've gotten to see this. This is a lanky creature. This thing could be maybe 7.5 feet tall. It is maybe like a dark, slimy green hue across its body. Thin limbs, which taper off into three-fingered hands, one of which is wrapped around your mother's leg, and the other which is helping to pull itself along. And as you point your flashlight at its head, you can see it turn around, and it is a cone. It's a cone that points to you, and it's like you're looking straight at the tip of a cone.
Like Pyramid Head?
Kind of like Pyramid Head, but instead of the tip being pointed straight up, the tip is pointed directly at you. And you find this to be kind of a weird thing, and then you see that it's kind of tapered at its sides, and then you see the cone start to unfurl from the tip, and reveal that it is a mass of tentacles that was coalescing around a large beak, with a singular, or with two angry eyes staring at you.
Oh, it opened its beakus?
It's like, its tentacles were furled over its mouth and eyes beforehand and made it look like a cone, but now it's unfurled kind of like a sunflower that's bloomed. Or not a sunflower, like a flower that's bloomed. Is that evocative imagery enough?
Fuck. Is it like... Is it so its mouth is open?
Yeah, it's like there are tentacles around its beak, kind of like an actual octopus. But beforehand, they were like all pulled together around the original mouth and coming to a point with all of the points of the tentacles coming together at the end. That's how it originally looked, and then it unfurled all that. So its mouth is now open.
Is there a picture of this thing, or is this your own creation?
This is my own creation.
Fuck. Do I still have more questions I can ask?
You have 2 more read a bad situation.
So if I ask the question, what's most vulnerable to me, would that like give me an idea of this thing's weakness?
No. That would not.
So what does that technically mean?
I'm trying to think of a way I can tell you without giving you the what's most vulnerable to me. What's most vulnerable to you would be the thing that you would need to, if, I'll say it this way, if you were in a fort and the fort was being attacked by by an army, and you ask that question to me, I would tell you, that maybe one of the gates has been loose lately and is only a few axe swings away from being broken. And that you've known
the monster's vulnerability.
You cannot.
I can only see
you cannot find the monster's vulnerability with that question. I will say, you do have an ability, of your own character, as well as 2 actual questions that you can ask basically whenever you want while this encounter is occurring. From the read a bad situation. You rolled really well. I would use those questions. They don't have to be now, but don't forget to use those when you get the opportunity. That is kind of a read a bad situation is what's going on right now, how can I deal with it? As opposed to who is this thing, how can I kill it? That would be a...
Alright. Okay, I think I'm just gonna fucking aim at what it looks like the head, which is the beak thing to me, and I'm gonna try to fucking fire a shot into him. I'm gonna act, dude. I see my mom getting dragged. I see this.
You're not
fucking
gonna
mouth
ask me
open
any
at
read a bad situation questions?
Oh, dude.
All right.
I'm a fucking
I'll say
sheet.
again. If you ask me a relevant question to the situation, I give you a +1 to that information.
Bro, I'm gonna shoot this bastard.
Alrighty. Give me an act under pressure roll.
It's
It's plus your cool.
that's -1.
All right. Go ahead and give me that roll.
-1. 3.
That is a 3. Your shot misses. I don't think you need me to tell you that. But what you didn't predict is that it would. Your hands are shaking while you're doing this, and you not only completely miss it, but this thing immediately gets frightened, and its first response is to slap you across the face. Essentially, it's slashing you across the face. After you miss its shot, it drops the leg of your mother and rapidly approaches you before hitting you hard. You take one harm.
How close was he?
He was like a good distance away, but this thing, you tried to fire a few shots, but none of them got it, and it just
Naruto run up to me?
no.
and punches me?
He almost. It looked like a gallop. You would imagine.
And I didn't move?
Say again.
And I didn't move?
You were busy firing shots trying to hit this thing.
I fired one shot.
You fired one shot? Okay, well, even so, after firing the one shot, this thing closes the distance between the two of you. And even if you tried to, even if you tried to run or move away from this thing, it gets you. It gets a hard hit on you. And not only does it deal 1 damage, but you lose your balance entirely and smack your head onto the sidewalk. And you are...
I take damage?
You don't take more damage, but you are now out cold.
Oh. Do I take a harm?
No, but you are now unconscious.
Oh, okay.
And as your vision fades, you can see it returning to your mother, grabbing it by the leg, and returning to whatever path it was going.
I saw that do that while unconscious?
No, as your vision was fading.
Oh. Okay. Do I know what direction it went?
Vaguely.
Okay.
And with that, we will move on to Kenny.
Morning.
Kenny.
Yeah.
This is the next morning. We're gonna get back to Corey eventually, but this is the next morning. You are feeling a lot better. You're still a little bit bandaged up. But you find yourself very invigorated. I feel like you feel a lot of motivation for some of the things that are coming. Maybe there's some deep part of you that's always kind of missed the mystery aspect. Would that be right to say, or is that out of your character?
It never feels bad when I'm not being tied down to like the way that my family ran things. If that makes any sense. I've never minded using my skills or my knowledge. It's just it always felt like I had to, like I was being forced to around my family. So now that I'm getting away from it, even if I don't want to be really doing it, that chasing mysteries and
Nobody wants to be in the middle of a life and death fight with a squid dog.
Yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy getting my head chomped on
But
By
you made the
food
choice to
but-
get your head chomped on as opposed to being pointed to by your family like some kind of dog
Yeah, well, they watched.
while they watched. So you are feeling, especially with your, what you can tell is a very close release from the hospital, an invigoration for the freedom that you have. And especially the freedom that you have to make a change in this podunk town in rural Alaska. And as you do, as you're sitting there, the original doctor who had come in for you and for Corey, the guy who twice caught Corey and had to take her away and came back and was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, I know what you did. It's chill, though. But I know what you did. He comes into the room and he's holding a clipboard and he's like, well, Mr. Strom, it appears that everything is working out in your favor. He's flipping through his notebook, or flipping through his clipboard. He's like, yeah, you were recovering at an excellent pace. You should be about good to head out here. And he gets a note on his beeper and he's like, oh, shoot. Okay. I will be back. I assure you, we'll get you out of here shortly. And he kind of hustles out of the room. A few minutes later, you get another knock on the door. A very polite knock. Can I come in?
No, I got my. Sorry, I got my thing out. Give me a second.
All right. Let me know.
I put my thing away.
All right, you put your thing away. Successfully.
Okay, come in.
Roll for it.
Okay, I'm rolling.
Your
I'm
ball.
rolling.
Your balls are still
Roll to
out.
put balls back in.
Balls are out.
You got your,
Roll
is that your
2,
coin purse, son?
D6 Plus
No, don't roll.
1 for charm because it's definitely charming.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
got an
You
11.
put
The
you
balls
put
are
your
in.
thing away. Your balls are in. Also, Blake,
Oh,
forgot to
God.
mention take an
Those balls
experience.
are really in.
Take an experience for the 3 that you rolled. Almost forgot to say. So, as you tell him to come in, you can see this very well-dressed police officer. Perhaps you may recall Corey and Sam, or I should say, Kenny, you might recall Corey or Blake and Sam being questioned by the police separately, and it appears that a policeman has come into your vicinity. Maybe, and I think you heard that you were going to get questioned eventually here. And it's this very tall, friendly guy. He's got this huge smile on his face. He is, he's not a sheriff deputy. He's just another. From what you can tell about him, he just looks like another policeman, who's working the job. And he's like, hello, Mr. Why am I forgetting your name? Hello, Mr. Strom. Lovely to meet you. My name is Policeman Jeremy Finch. This is my badge number. I've come in here to ask you a few questions about your situation with the other night, clear up some things, and perhaps you can give me some details on a few of the other people who were involved. And this guy is obscenely friendly. It is, always kind of weird to see coming from a random person, but what really catches you off guard is the fact that nothing of what he said about any of his credentials was remotely truthful. Everything, when he said, my name is Officer Finch, and giving you a badge number, it was almost impossible to tell, but you could glean that he's not a police officer. Is something wrong?
Interesting.
Oh, you saying that out of character. He's like, yeah, so I have a few questions for you. Would you be willing to answer them for me?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I can help you with what I remember. I got really hurt. I don't know if you saw.
Oh yes, I've heard a little bit about it. And he picks up the clipboard that was originally being used by the other doctor. Um, and he pulls out his own little pen and paper, and he kind of sits down next to you. He's like, "So tell me a little bit about what happened. I've heard there's some crazy stories going around, but you can be honest with me." Continuing to hold this bright smile across his face.
Kind of menacingly nice.
Are his teeth really white?
His teeth are crazy white. And he's not trying to scare you. He's, by all accounts, this is just a very friendly police officer, but your character knows that this is not true.
Yeah, that's not his name. He's not a police officer. That's not his badge number.
But he does want that information.
Well, I think I'll tell you what I can, Officer Finch. I was on the bus when they announced that person was missing, when the child was missing.
Oh yes, Billy.
Yeah, I was heading home from doing some chores out and about. Came across one of my friends on the bus. We got off at our stop.
And what was the name of your friend again, real quick?
That would be Neil. I don't know their last name. We're new friends.
Alrighty, Neil.
But Neil called me and said that he noticed a strange noise outside of his house and requested that I come help him with something. So I took my snowmobile out, and we found the kid. And
Now let me pause you here real quick. Let me just pause you real quick. I apologize. I did happen, and he rifles through his bag, and he pulls out a map, and he's like, "Now I am trying to get all the information I can about this scene. So if you could identify the rough location of your friend's place, so that we can kind of retrace the steps here as it goes."
I don't have his. I don't know.
I mean, I can give you. Do you have an address? You clearly went to his house.
No, I don't have his address. Sorry.
How did he get there?
It's down the road.
Okay.
There's one road.
Well, there's one road, but there are quite a bit of houses. I mean, any defining features would help.
He was waiting outside the house already, so I didn't have to pay attention to where it was.
All right. Then what else happened?
Then we took off into the woods with Neil's caretaker, myself and Neil, and we came across...
Did you happen to get her name?
No, I didn't. I didn't catch the name.
All right.
But we came across a girl and the kid in the woods, and they looked obviously very injured, and that's where I got injured. I don't quite remember what happened, but that's as much as I remember.
Well, surely you got to have some memories of it, son. I mean, you're here in the hospital from injuries. How did you get these?
Well, yeah, that's probably why I wouldn't remember it, is because I was so badly injured.
But you only have the major injury was to your neck, son. I don't understand. Surely you have some information. Perhaps you could show me here on the map where you dealt with a dog?
I didn't say anything about a dog.
Uh-oh.
His smile kind of creases. It was kind of reaching his eyes beforehand, and cheek to cheek, but you can kind of see his face twinge when you say that. And he's like, well, I mean, I've heard some stories about some of the situations. Some people have mentioned the fact that there might be some wild wolves perhaps coming through here, and I figured that was probably the situation. if you could identify me roughly the place where you had where this entire encounter went down. I mean, just a very rough idea. And he very pointedly puts the pen in your hand and holds the map in front of you.
I'm gonna go ahead and point to a random point on a map completely in the wrong direction from where we were. I'm gonna say it must have been right about over here, officer.
Um. Hmm. He continues to smile at you. It seems like he's kind of regained his composure after you point somewhere, and he smiles and he's like, "Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much." But I feel like you're coming in and out with information here. Come on. We're trying to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Surely you have some more information about it. I feel like after rooming with this young lady, perhaps you got to have her name. Perhaps anything with the person you were staying with exactly where this dog is located, because I can tell that you are starting to feed me some information, son, aren't you?
Excuse me, officer? What have I done to make you think that?
You feel disingenuous. And I want you to know I have this town's best interest at heart, as do all the rest of us in the Utqiagvik police department. I just need your help because we got to get our boys on to autopsy the animal. Just real quick. And with that, we can potentially figure out if there are some more localized. We can find some, maybe some nice little electric fences to keep the dogs out. You know what I'm talking about. But for that to happen, I need you to point to the actual location where it is, because we know it's not there. You pointed to kind of a random spot on the map, but I think in this situation, you were, as far as you can tell, you either pointed somewhere randomly enough that it was noticeable, or he could not just he could just tell that you were like, yeah, here.
Sorry, officer. I'm kind of feeling tired out. I'm still recovering. I think it might be best if you leave. I think I might have to take a nap.
Well, Mr. Strom, can I have your contact information then? We'd like to get in contact with you again once you're feeling a little bit better.
Yes, you can have my phone number.
And potentially address too. Obviously we gotta get you. It's very easy to hang up on a police officer. People are a lot more honest with us when they have to deal with us face to face, so to speak.
Seeing as I haven't done anything, I don't know why I would give you my address.
Mr. Strom, look, actually what he says is Mr. Strom, and then he looks down again and he says, Mr. Strom, my apologies. You need to give me this information. I need to know where this is. And his smile actually his smile fully falls this time. I need you to tell me where you all killed the dog.
Listen, man. Whoever you are, I know.
And know what?
Whatever you think you're getting out of me here, you're just chasing in circles. I don't know anything.
I don't understand. You're being really argumentative, and I'd like to think your friend. Actually, no, he doesn't say that. He says you're being very argumentative, and I'd like to think that we're being more than reasonable, and just asking you these questions rather than booking your ass right now, because I could take you out of this hospital bed and put you right in a padded cell.
You don't have anything on me.
I have you on the night of this child's discovery. I have you with a vehicle full of a few illicit. Actually, is your character like legally carry, or do they own illegal firearms?
Legal carry in all 50 states, yeah.
Okay, well, he actually
Or
does.
sorry, yeah. 48 contiguous states in Alaska, not in Hawaii.
Thank God I didn't set this in Hawaii. Uh, but he still says we have you with illicit weapons, and perhaps maybe I have found some alcohol in your vehicle.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's sick.
Oh,
That's
wait,
sick as
I
fuck.
said that. Aren't you 20? Wait, no, you're 22. Fuck.
I'm like 23 or something.
Or perhaps some more illicit drugs.
Maybe some fucking
Shit.
heroin.
That's also sick as fuck.
Look,
I
I just
don't
need-
see the downside here.
Mr. Strum, I just need you to tell me where I can find this dog, and maybe just some of the names of your friends, so that we can have some conversations with them. We still gotta, find them.
Now, if you're pinning some incorrect information on me, I'm gonna start pinning some incorrect information on you. You told me that you've already talked to my friends. You have told me that you already know what the dog is without me telling you about any type of dog. For all I know, there could not be a dog. I didn't tell you anything about that. You're putting this all on me, and none of this is what I've given you descriptions of. I told you where I was, what I did, exactly to what I remember before I got hurt. You know, I went through the traumatic experience, and you're sitting here in the hospital room afterwards telling me that I did all this stuff that I didn't do. That
You are
sounds
with-
very becoming of a police officer, doesn't it?
You are withholding information from the Utqiagvik police station. There's not a lot of law
That you
enforcement around.
obviously aren't a part of.
And when you say that, he was looking kind of smug, trying to get your attention again, but his face drops again, and he just stands up and quickly starts walking out of the room.
Thanks, Officer Finch. Have a great day.
Fucking wrecked him.
I assume you're just letting him go then.
Yeah.
But after you leave the room, you hear a set of footsteps again, and it's the doctor you were dealing with earlier, and he's like, I don't know what happened. That was a mighty weird situation. I think they said they needed me over on the I don't know, they need me on the third floor for surgery or something all of a sudden. I got up there and they said they didn't know nothing, but weird enough. I probably what was that? I probably did a HIPAA violation right there. My mistake. Oops.
Just revealing me his rounds.
Well, either way, and he looks down at his thing. He's like, "You are after you, obviously, after we check your insurance at the front, you are good to go." There's not going to be no insurance roll. It's just he's just basically saying you're good to go now. I don't know why I said insurance. I don't know why I said that. Did your character buy insurance, Kenny? They better have.
Fuck.
But you.
Well, yeah, I've been living on my own for like 3 years, 4 years. So
No,
of course I've got insurance.
No, I'm kidding.
Thank goodness.
But you're after he comes back, he's basically like, "Yeah, you're good to go." And he gives you all of your stuff, and which I think you already had, but he's very much like, put on your regular clothes. Nobody wants to see you walk outside in a hospital gown.
Silly hospital moment.
And you are good to go.
Perfect. Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it. And I
Uh,
get the lady fuck out of there.
yeah, and I think the way the situation ran out, your three-man snowmobile is still just sitting in the parking lot. A large amount of snow accumulated on it from it just sitting there, but it's there, and so you can just
Yeah, I'll brush her up and take her home.
and I will remind you with the memory that your character has a uh, been reminded of a meeting of the Flatters later that day.
Oh, of course. I'll definitely get get more prepared for that. I need to take a trip home before I go to the meeting after being at the hospital for so long.
Sam.
I gotta check if my plants are all right.
Yeah, good. Sam.
Yo.
It is a bright and sunny morning where both you and Evelyn are preparing for your uh, day. After talking with the Flatters a little bit, they invited you the previous day. They invited you into a group, and I think Evelyn has been very excited about the prospect of, I don't know, being in some sort of secret society, despite how weird they might be. So she is cooking actually quite the hefty breakfast this morning, which you only see on very good occasions, like on I don't know, like the what's something crazy that would normally happen in your life. I was trying to think of like sports team winning. Like you got an A+ on a test, and she's making you something real good, like that kind of
Got it. So
situation.
it's like better than a birthday.
It is better than a
Like,
birthday. Like it's like,
gotcha.
oh boy,
Okay.
we have a big day ahead of us. We had to make sure that we are fully stocked up on food. So eat away. And she puts a nice huge breakfast out for you. Are you still ready for this? You can back out at any time. I don't want you to feel like I'm putting pressure on you. I will say I'm having a fair bit of fun here, but your health and safety is important.
Um, Evelyn, I obviously appreciate that, but now that we're kind of in this situation, I think it's best that we keep going with it.
You know what? That is fair. I mean, especially since I think they need all the help they can get with the they're basically all old people. I don't think I saw any of them standing during the entire time. Uh, no, I guess they met us out front. But really, outside of that, I don't think I saw any of them do any form of real activity, other than that one guy in the back who got up briefly to go pack another bong. But perhaps I believe your friend Avery is also getting out today. So this should make for quite an interesting time being able to bring in two people. We should probably inform both Avery and the group of each other. I think Avery knows of the group, but maybe not exactly what the group is.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
do you need me to participate? I'm not here, right?
No, you're. This is at their place.
Okay, yeah,
Right
I'm
now the
just at
story's with them.
conversation point. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think I'll have to let them know then. I'll probably just send Avery a quick message. I know he'll be able to read it as soon as I send it.
What are you telling them? What
Um,
does your text say? How shitty is your text lingo?
oh gosh. First of all, I'm writing way more than I need to. Like, I am writing paragraphs. Um,
You were detailing this visit.
yeah. Like, definitely probably stuff that he didn't really need to know. But it does eventually give him all of the information, about pretty much everything that we did when we were there. Just kind of informing him about the group.
Kenny, do you
everything.
read the entire thing?
I think he asked.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I think he's using the
so we
restroom.
could leave.
I'll
okay.
ask him again here shortly because I guess his answer here isn't super relevant right now. So don't worry. Keep doing your thing, Kenny. But you send this and then go back to what you're doing, and she's like, yes, I suppose we should probably we probably don't have to message the Flatters. Don't they have one collective phone between all of them? They do. I think they only have one collective phone. And she actually, she's like, do you have that card on you?
Yeah, let me pull it out.
You show her the card, and she actually goes to the phone. She's like, maybe I'll let them know so that they aren't as potentially threatened by our friend's entrance as they were with us. And she calls, and she's like, and then she hangs up, and she's like, the line's busy. Well, I suppose we'll tell them when we get there later today. But for the time being, I think we should suit up.
Hey.
It is. Are you back, Kenny?
Yeah,
So my question is, did you?
tea and beer.
He said.
Oh.
Ooh. Neil, I think, sent you a multi-paragraph message detailing about everything that had happened with him and the Flatters. And my question for you is, did you read the whole thing?
Skimmed like 60% of the message.
You got the gist.
Oh, I got a hell of a gist. Yeah.
You got hippies. Maybe make yourself
Address.
known. Address. Well, you already had the address. You gave
Yeah,
him
I
the
had the address, but but now it's on my phone, so I can GPS it. You know.
That's true. And he also mentioned the fact that the GPS takes you to the start of a dirt road, which leads to their actual place.
Oh
and
that's good information.
And like in all caps, underlined, italicized, bolded, it's like, tell them you're with that doctor lady.
The doctor, yeah. Perfect. My bestie.
Yeah, she loves everyone here.
I did want to take just a second so that we could enjoy this crack together. Is everybody ready?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I heard someone crack their knuckles first. What was that?
No, that must have been the can.
No, that was me.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
crazy.
I heard a snap of a bone and then the snap of a pen.
That was me. I don't know why my brain was telling me to crack my neck at that exact moment.
I like it. Picasso.
But he sends you the message, and it's actually it's about an hour before the meeting itself, and a little while after you've been able to get home, Kenny, that you get this message from Neil. It sounds like you skim it.
I'd like to retcon in the fact that I did also go to McDonald's by myself.
You did. No, that absolutely happened.
Yeah, I drove a little bit farther out of the way than I needed to on my snowmobile.
No, of course you have
Just
to.
to be able to get to McDonald's,
the only
yeah.
it's the only McDonald's out here.
Business.
Yeah.
A lot of business.
It's the only McDonald's out here. It is one of the highlights of Derringer is the fact that somebody was able to get a corporate McDonald's out into this location.
Is it an up to date McDonald's, or does it still have like Ronald McDonald clown outside?
It is an up to date McDonald's, but there is like, you can see in the back of this store, like, they for whatever reason can't seem to close the door that has like not a porcelain, like a large plastic grimace. So it's always just kind of standing there staring at the wall.
They got a grimace?
Yeah, they got a grimace,
Oh,
but
no.
unfortunately, like, their storage closet
So
for it is
has to be
not far enough out of eyesight for the public.
It has to be the last one in existence.
It has to be the last.
It has to be the
McDonald's
last
that has a
physical
grimace.
grimace.
Because as we all know, McDonald's has vowed to destroy every single one, but they just could not get out there to destroy that one.
Yeah,
worst
nobody
sink.
from corporate McDonald's was making it all the way out to Derringer.
A note for the audience. This grimace will come up later in the season finale of the Monster of the Week campaign.
Uh-oh.
What?
I love our McDonald's lore.
And then Grimace comes sprinting out of the back way and beats up the. No, but
18 naked grimaces.
as
I hope that wasn't anything important.
no,
Or I hope it was.
No. But you guys get the message. I assume. What do you guys do in prep? I think you guys have weapons and stuff, and they mentioned that this is going to be a big meeting. And are you also another question is: are you guys planning on carpooling or driving separately?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're not like besties, and we're not super close to each
Yeah.
other. We're just like relatively close to each other.
No, but you
That's why it
guys
was
are
like,
both involved in the situation. And he
Yeah.
he's just messaged you, so you have the gist of the thing that you guys are both going to.
yeah, I'll probably show up by myself
Okay.
so that I can have like
Yeah.
more McDonald's in the side bag, you know?
Oh, of course, of course. You show up like
Yeah.
5 minutes late with McDonald's.
Yeah,
and,
with a coffee.
with a coffee and a fillet of fish.
Yeah, just the regular old shitty fillet of fish.
So you guys are prepping for the situation. I'll tell you, maybe grab your weapons and just stock them in whatever in character. You guys are grabbing your weapons and stocking them in your vehicle.
Yeah,
in preparation
I had
for whatever you might have to do.
I had taken my my hunting rifle to the pools where we found Blake or Corey
Mhm.
and the kid Billy. And I also had weighted gloves or brass knuckles rather. I had my brass knuckles with me there, so those are in the snowmobile already.
Excellent. All right. Well, you guys are packing up, and you both head over to the meeting. We are going to backtrack it a little bit chronologically. Blake, you wake up on the cold floor, feeling absolutely frozen to the bone. You are still on the driveway of your house. It is maybe mid-morning.
I grab my head and go, bruh.
You can see
The
nobody
world
else is
responds.
awake.
Those bruh back.
Yeah, there's
I
no
gotta
bruh
take
back.
a second, dude. My head got hit.
You've taken most likely 5 to 6 hours.
Oh,
It is morning now.
wait, I was sleeping that long out on the cold.
You
on the
you were
sidewalk?
knocked out. You were knocked out hard, and you wake up kind of cold to the bone. Now, to be fair, mid morning out here, like the night doesn't last super long because we're just out of midnight sun, so night dips down for like a collective 6 hours. At this point, so the time between darkness and the sun being risen, it's hard for you to tell, but you have slept for a little bit out here on the cold pavement. But it is long enough that whatever had happened last night is no longer around you.
Does my head hurt?
Oh yeah.
I go, bruh, my head hurts.
You say that successfully.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Then I'm like, oh yeah, my mama, and then I guess look in the path where the monster last was to see if I could see anything.
Give me an investigate a mystery roll.
Let's do that one.
That is a plus
Sharp.
your sharp.
Let's see. Ten.
All right, you can
Holy
ask
moly.
me 2 questions from the list.
Corey's rolling today. The fuck?
And I will say at this point you cannot use your read a bad situation +3 anymore. In the future, try to use your essentially I'd ask your questions as soon as they pop up, and I'll give you the information relevant because there's no downside to having the questions answered, and you get +1s to your rolls to these situations when that does happen.
What was it? You told me to do what?
Earlier that night, you did a read a bad situation and rolled well, but you only asked one of the 3 questions, we're out of the situation where you can't ask questions. So the other 2 questions are kind of dead to the world.
Yeah.
So in the future, try to ask your... my suggestion as DM is ask your questions when you have them, or at the very least plan to ask some more of them, because for Read a Bad Situation, asking, for instance, what's the best way to protect the victims, which is another Read the Bad Situation, would have potentially given you a +1 to your shoot the guy roll.
Oh, you want me to metagame?
No, I'm not. Well, I mean, I'm not saying. Well, yeah, you should keep in mind. These roles that I'm having you do are actually metagame roles. To give you an idea, if you had, I guess this is a good explanation for everyone here. In case there's any lack of clarity. In the situation where you were trying to escape the hospital. Your act under pressure roll actually changes the scenario you walk into. If you had rolled a 10+, I would have said that you had walked out of the room and not seen any doctors on any side of the halls. If you'd rolled a 7 to 9, a mixed success, I would have said you'd seen a doctor on the end, one of the ends of the place, but he's distracted and talking to another doctor. So maybe it would have given you an opportunity to go the other way, hide, wait for him to find something else to do, and then sneak past him. And because you rolled below a 7, the doctor, you came out of the room with the doctor already having noticed you. So asking these questions is a meta thing. You asking these questions is basically, instead of revealing more of the situation, creating more of the situation to help you. Your good rolls create opportunities for you. If that makes any sense. As opposed to D&D, if you roll perception and you roll low, you don't see a doctor who's walking towards you. You roll high, you see a doctor that's walking towards you, but regardless of whether or not you roll perception in D&D, the doctor's walking towards you. The rolls we do in this change the situation. And they dictate how well the situation goes for you guys. So my suggestion as Game Master is for you, the player, to ask me these questions to reveal more of them, or more about the situation. And in that way, metagame, yes. Does that make sense to you guys?
I don't get the reason for it.
Like why you should ask more questions?
Yeah.
Well, especially for like Read a Bad Situation, it reveals more about the situation, and avenues for you to do things. It's not your question, or it's not your character asking questions.
Even if I don't like naturally have a question, like if I, the player, don't have a question, I should think of one anyway just to get more stats, right? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, I mean, you don't have to ask a question that you feel like is irrelevant to the situation. And for instance, like,
so if I'm out of like genuine like wonder of the situation, but I have a question left, I should just ask something just to get the point for it.
Yeah. Because it's not like I've left mysteries unspoken. Asking a question reveals more of the situation. When it came to the kid who was on the playground, you asked, where did it go? And I told you if there were foot tracks. And when you asked what happened here, I revealed that there's blood on the ground as well, and dragging marks going in the direction of the foot tracks. You would not have noticed those beforehand. You would have just been working with the foot tracks.
Okay, but
it's creating for you as a player more of the situation to work with. So you don't feel like you're stuck with, well, what the fuck do I do here? If you ask, what's the best way to protect the victims, when it comes to your mom being held by the thing, I'd say scaring this thing away would probably do... I don't know exactly what I would have said, but, maybe I would have said scaring this thing away would probably cause it to drop your mother. And when you first got the role, if you'd said, what's most vulnerable to me, I would have told you the garage door is open.
okay.
And chances are it looks like it's going towards the garage door. So it's you're creating opportunities for you, the player, are creating opportunities for your character to thrive in the situation depending on your roles. Otherwise, you did the equivalent of rolling a 7 to 9 by only asking one question. Because at a 7 to 9, you can only ask one question.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
All right, you got a very good roll
My
on
brain,
your.
though.
Say again.
It's hurting my brain.
Yeah, it's don't worry. A lot of the legwork I'm gonna be doing. Basically, if you have questions that you can ask that you feel like might be relevant to the situation, ask them, and you can ask them one at a time, and I'll reveal more of the situation, and that might make you go, oh, well, then this question might be relevant. Because creatures walking towards the house. Oh, what's most vulnerable to me? Your garage door is open. What's the best? Are there any dangers? Or what's the biggest threat? That something gets into your house and potentially hurts you and your family. Something like that.
I like being risky.
Say again?
I like just doing, though.
I mean, then your character can do off of those actions. You're revealing more of the situation. If you don't... It's my suggestion that you try to act on your roles as best as possible. Just doing is going to make me have you roll more, and when you roll bad, things like your mother getting kidnapped happen.
Yeah, that's fine. It happened.
I'm
That
saying
was that.
you as the player should try to use all of your tools that you have access to.
I'll try.
So you have rolled a 10 on Investigate a Mystery, so you have 2 questions you can ask. You have just woken up, and I think you're looking around trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Where did it go? It is heading out in... You can see foot tracks, and they're kind of faded, and some dragging marks, also kind of faded. And frustratingly, they are heading in the exact same direction that the dog track marks were going, and it is very like the first time. You can tell that it's going in that same cardinal direction that dog was heading that first time when you were following its tracks.
I guess I'd follow it.
Alrighty. Do you go inside and gather anything, or do you just get up and start following it?
I got my gun. I go.
Alright, fair enough. In your pseudo PJs and parka that you wore, because of course nobody goes outside without a parka, you start heading off in that direction. After trekking for a little while, you find yourself coming to... You actually find yourself passing by the area that the kid was found. And there's nothing around, but you take note of that you are now passing by where the kid is found, and you're continuing on that direction, and you're finding more tracks. Until eventually you come upon a abandoned oil refinery out in the middle of the Alaskan... out in the middle of the Alaskan pits. I keep coming up with different names. The pools, the pits, whatever it is. But the tracks clearly lead into this building. It is dilapidated. It's not huge. It's clearly one of the smaller and older refineries that has long since been decommissioned. But it's got graffiti on the walls. The glass on a few of the floors have been broken. Some of the doors have been broken in. There's like I said, there's graffiti on the walls. Some people have drawn penises on the side of it. Other people have drawn penises as well. It seems to be a surprisingly common thing. There's a few drawings of penises that you don't even know how they got there. Like halfway up the building with absolutely no railing, but it is you would estimate like maybe a 3-story high building, but you don't know if on the inside there might be a more complex floor layout.
It's like a okay,
Old broken down factory,
big old factory.
big old broken down factory. And you're new enough to this area that you probably are. You've never even heard of this place, but maybe this is a place that kids go to sometimes to hang out and smoke weed. Who's to
My
say?
character's scared of tetanus. She would never go there.
Yeah, no, it is a gross place to be if you're scared of tetanus.
I have to come over the street though, and I scream for my mama. I go, "Mama, are you there?"
You hear no response.
Uh,
Plain and simple.
oh, shoot. I guess I'm going in. That's what my character says to herself. So I have to ask a question. Can I so
You don't have to ask a question, but I'll tell you it's a good idea to when it's relevant. Like, this might be a good place to ask a question, because just going in there, I might spring something on you.
So I can keep these questions for like the rest of that turn?
For the rest of the situation, like you can't
So this is
ask
the same
read it
situation.
for like read a bad situation. Those roles don't work anymore because it's like that encounter, quote unquote, is done. But you're investigating a mystery, trying to find your mother. This is still relevant to trying to find your mother. If that makes any sense.
Let's see.
And I'll let you hold on to those for as long as this encounter goes. If you don't want to ask them now, because I don't want you to feel like you're forced to ask them, but it would be, in this situation, maybe a good idea to ask it, or to see what else.
I mean, my character would look for a door, but is there a way I ask that in a question?
No, you can just see a door. There's a door there.
Oh. I'm confused now. So I go towards the door.
This is the thing. Your questions reveal more about the situation at hand that is like outside of the norm. You trying to escape from a hospital is outside of the norm. You have to it's something that not a lot of people would just do. But it's even regardless of whether or not it's hard. It's going like against some people. It's something that would be contested. Kenny undoing your straps to allow you to be free to do that doesn't require a roll because it's just a thing guys can do. If you want to look around the place, you can try to get a feel for it. And I can just give some more information, but if you want genuine questions about, if you want me to reveal significantly more about the situation, these questions are tailored to those kinds of things.
Okay.
If you rolled a 12 or plus, you could ask me any question, technically. But you rolled a 10, which is still really good.
I see. So...
To give you an idea, if you'd rolled low, like a 5, I would have told you that you see tracks leading off in a direction, but it seems like over the course of the night, those tracks have faded and it's basically impossible to follow. But because you were able to ask those questions, I was in say, where did it go? I showed you that there are tracks there. If that makes any sense. These questions change the game.
Alright. Okay. What were we doing?
You are outside of a large, scary factory. You screamed for your mama, and she did not... No, nothing happened.
Yeah, going in.
Just going in?
Going in.
All right. There is a large door that you saw that the... whatever the tracks were led into. Is that the door you're taking, or are you looking for maybe another entrance?
Yeah, I'm looking for my mama. I go through the tracks.
All right. You walk in. It is dark inside of here. It is very dark. There are a few cracks in the windows that allow for some light to be streamed through. But
my phone flashlight.
You grab your phone flashlight. All right, fair enough. You can you take your phone flashlight and you shine it around this place. And this is a dilapidated factory. This is a large place with a litany of broken down machines, pipes on the floor, broken glass, rusty nails, sticking straight out of the sides of anywhere that you might potentially touch, ready to give you tetanus whenever you. But it's a scary, people would say that it was haunted, but looking around, you are not seeing a lot, and maybe after looking around and trying to find your mom directly, you retrace your steps back to the door, and you can see the footprints that were leading in. They were, because of the metallic floor, the footprints don't really hold. Like you were following kind of muddy, kind of snowy footprints all the way over here, but as soon as it gets inside, those kind of fade. But there's a vague red trail that is continuing to lead on further into the factory. That you can tell is from the head injury your mother had taken.
So it is blood. The red trail is blood.
Yes.
I say, I hope that isn't my mom's, but I follow it.
All right. You follow this trail, and as you are walking, you start to pick up on some noises. Maybe it's the factory setting itself, but it feels like there is more occurrence around you than there was the first time you had walked in here, as you begin to walk deeper in.
Oh no.
I assume you pay it no mind and keep going.
Unless it's like, sounds like movement of a thing. You said it sounds like floor settling?
You could equate it to the floor settling, but, obviously a monster took your mother into here, so you have no guarantee. Maybe you're looking around and you're pointing your flashlight wherever you hear these noises from, but you're not seeing anything, or you haven't really seen anything yet.
Then I keep going.
All right, you find this blood trail comes to a stop outside of a trapdoor. Not like one of those ones that drop out from below you, and not like a Dr. Evil style trapdoor, but like something that you would pull up that leads. And in fact, maybe you do. From a movie, you could tell before you even open it that it's one of those kinds of things where you open it and then you climb down a set of ladders and go into what is most likely an even spookier situation.
Is it open or closed?
It is closed.
So the monster closed that bastard?
That's what you could. That's you could tell, yeah.
Can I ask the question? I guess that's not relevant yet.
I mean, what's your question?
None of the questions here would tell me if the monster closed it.
I mean, you can, as far as you can tell, the monster closed it.
Okay.
That's not like
question.
game-breaking information. The questions you ask are almost reality warping. The investigative mystery questions are almost reality warping.
Okay. Can I open this thing?
Yeah, it is actually very heavy. And you are having a rough go at it, but you are able to open it. And as you basically get it past its like perpendicular to the ground point, it falls onto the other side and clatters about as loud as you wouldn't want it to.
I sit silent and see if any sounds come after that big sound.
You hear two quiet gurgles coming from below. And then you hear a creak almost somewhere overhead.
Above and below?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I shine my flashlight down the hole?
Yeah. You shine your flashlight down the hole, and you can see the bottom. It's maybe a good 30-foot climb down. It's like surface to sewer level type thing that you would see in like a manhole. But obviously it's for a factory, and it's not just a manhole. There's clearly like supposed to be things down there normally. But you see the bottom, but you see as your light flickers across the bottom, you do see like brief movement moving away from the light source, and then a screech from down below. And that screech resonates with a screech directly above you. And you hear something jump off of the... you hear something make a large amount of movement directly above you. And all of a sudden you're on the ground with something heavy pressing against you.
Uh-oh. Do I have my gun in hand?
You do. You are being held against the ground, though. Are you going to try to shoot it?
Like how held? Like held how?
It's like... It's got its... Whatever it is, it's pressing down on your chest, and you are... I'll tell you, you can tell that this is one of the dogs. This is like that the dog the other time you dealt with it. This is an uncomfortably familiar situation.
This is the dog?
This is a dog, yes. And maybe you're confused because you didn't see the second dog like Neil and Kenny did. Maybe you might even think that it's the same dog as the first time, but it is. But you most likely don't have enough time to think about the ramifications of tentacle dog necromancy, and you are just in a very scary situation. What do you do?
I use my gun, or I like hold it up and try to shoot it into the body of the fan.
All right. I'm going to make you. I'm trying to decide if I want to make you get into a fight and kick some ass. I'm going to actually have this be a kick some ass roll. You know what? Let me think here. I'll actually give you the choice. Your kick some ass roll is going to be based around if you do damage, it does damage to you. Act under pressure doesn't necessarily do damage to the creature, but helps you potentially get an advantage on the situation. If you're wanting to do some genuine damage to this thing, I'm going to make you do kick some ass. If you're just wanting to do enough to get this thing off of you, then it's going to be act under pressure.
I'm trying to kill it, dude. My dad taught me to shoot to kill.
Alrighty. But you, the player, are you trying to just kill it?
Yeah, dude.
All right, roll for kick some ass. Roll plus your tough.
Shoot and kill. Tough is...
Your tough is plus 0.
Plus 0. What's wrong with that? I don't want to shoot it. So just roll d6.
Mm-hmm.
Seven.
7.
Good roll.
You and whatever you're fighting... Yeah, he rolled better than you, Kenny. You and whatever you are fighting inflict harm on each other. It doesn't matter whether or not you roll a 12, you do still take damage from the situation. What does your weapon do? It's a 2 harm, close, loud. So you are able to wrench one of your hands free from under what you think is its paws. It's very dark now because it knocked your phone to the side here.
My hands were... You didn't say my hands were...
It was on top of you, and its weight was on you. There's a struggle going on currently, and this is a very much in the moment situation. You are able to wrench one of your hands essentially into a good position, and you are able to fire a shot straight into what you think is this thing's neck. but it's really hard to tell. And this shot's loud. It rings out. Obviously, this is a quiet factory, and this creature screeches. It takes 2 harm, but and then it proceeds to rapidly try to get off of you, and in doing so, it is clawing the shit out of your chest and legs on its way off of you, and you're going to take 1 harm.
Got it.
But this thing is now off of you. You're able to get your phone and point your. Well, I guess at this point you are free from the thing. So I'll give you an opportunity to tell me what you're wanting to do here.
Run. Get out of there.
All right.
See if I can go to the way I came in.
Fair
Just
enough.
get out of there. There's shit in here that's gonna hurt me.
Additionally, don't forget you do still have a +2, or you still do have 1 more question on your investigate a mystery. But running is a very valid thing. I think. Are you going to ask this question? We may be approaching the end of the situation where you could ask the second question.
What's the question? What can it do?
What can it do? As you're running out of this place, you go to pick up your phone, and you are able to point your flashlight at it, and it is clearly a dog. But it's not the same dog that you had attacked previously. Maybe there are some defining markings. Maybe it's your complex intuition about the situation. But it seems to have claws on its feet. Its head seems to do... Although there are claws on its legs, whatever is contained within its massive tentacles on its face seems to be the most dangerous part of this thing. And you suddenly become very grateful that...
Tentacles?
Yeah, it's much like the tentacle dog before. It's very similar to both the tentacle dog and the tentacle strider. Are built with like tentacles flowering out of this central feeding cavity on where its head is. And whatever that is clearly is built to hurt. It is razor sharp, and it almost makes you kind of glad that it didn't choose to just rake its tentacles against you as it was getting off. And thinking back, that other random dude you were in, or I guess you know Avery, you are surprised that Avery actually got out of the situation as unharmed as he did, with that thing's tentacles hurting you. So with this, I'll tell you that you are now aware that these creatures, although their claws hurt, sure, their tentacles really do some damage.
Tentacles.
And so you are running out of this place, right?
Skedaddling.
Yeah, I think your kick some ass roll, being able to get a solid shot on this thing and scaring it was enough to give you the leeway to get out. As you get outside, this thing was chasing you. This thing did start chasing you, but the moment you step outside, it stops at the door. And
suspiciously stops, like to a halt.
To a halt.
I noticed that.
Yes, you do. I should hope so. And as you notice this, it gives you a few gurgled snarls before returning to wherever it was inside of the factory. You hear some clatter, and then another, maybe a whimper or two, and then all is quiet in the factory once again. But you are outside.
I kind of make a mental note and say, the light seems to be their enemy. And then I say, I gotta get some help, or I think to myself, I gotta get some help with this, the fucking mess. I need to save my mama,
Yes, you do.
and so I guess I head back to my house to get my. I guess I have a cell phone. Can I get reception?
Not right now, but once you get back into town, you get reception. You're
Okay,
kind of way out in the flats.
I'll go back to town then. Make my truck.
All right. And with that, we'll take a short pause here so you guys can take a little break here, but we'll come back in, let's say, 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. 5 minutes.
All right. See y'all shortly.
Cool.
See ya.
so I can at least have a recording for this too. I'll give you guys the gist.
Yeah, like
When you roll in D&D,
roles are an
go ahead.
expression of like skill, or luck, or different aspects of like doing like skillful things, whereas just doing a normal thing in the world, like walking up to a door and opening the door, is just a thing that you can do.
Yeah, it's that to a degree, but roles are, if in D&D, when you do a roll, you're rolling for what is happening to your character specifically. If you fail a deception roll, your character trips. If you fail a perception roll, your character doesn't notice anything. If you fail an attack roll, your character misses their attack. In this game, your rolls dictate the situation. If you do a bad manipulate someone, they might become this person might actively start working against you. If you do a failed protect someone, you might also get caught in the crossfire. If you do a bad act under pressure roll, the situation might escalate.
Yeah.
If you do a bad kick some ass roll, then you take a lot of damage. And in that same sense, good rolls will add to the situation. Being able to ask questions essentially allows me to create more for you to work with in the scenario. If you ask, if for whatever reason you did read a bad situation in the hospital, and you said, what's my best way out? And you were able to get questions. You said, what's my best way out? I might have been like, although it looks like the window's locked, there is actually a key sitting directly on the windowsill. You don't know why it's there, and the bed sheets seem to be long enough that you could bed sheet out the window.
Is asking a question me talking or my character talking?
You asking a question is you, Blake, talking.
Okay, see, that's what I've been confused about, because every time you just tell me to ask a question, I'm like, this isn't what my character would do, though.
The way they word it, I'll use investigate a mystery. It says when you investigate a mystery, roll blah blah blah. One hold, a hold can be spent to ask the keeper one of these following questions. The keeper being me, the DM. So keeper is what they call this. You are asking me what is happening here. What is my best way in? I reveal to you something that works well. If you had a read bad situation, you're like, what's my best way out for inside of the factory? I might have told you potentially distracting this creature and then doing
I get how it works. What's confused me is who's speaking, yeah. So I get how the points work and shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I always felt like it took me out of character when I was asking questions like that.
You, the person, are asking me the questions.
Okay.
You Blake, are asking me, Logan, the questions.
And my character doesn't know that I do.
No. In fact, like, if you were investigating a mystery, you would ask me what happened here, and I would say your character discovers something.
Okay.
If you say, what sort of creature is it? Or if you'd say, what can hurt it? I'd say, you notice it steps on glass and is bleeding profusely. It's not what would hurt it, but I would say, like, you discover this situation. There are set things that I'm hiding behind locked doors, but these questions kind of unlock those doors or provide you with more opportunities for your character to see things. What's most vulnerable to me, I would be like, you remember from your dream that the garage door is open, and looking at the creature right now, it seems to be actually making a very slow beeline for the garage door. What's the best way to protect the victims? Situations like that. This is you asking me, and I tell you what your character figures out about the situation, or what evolves that allows things to go better.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be good at it.
That's okay. You're actually you're doing pretty good. You're just getting caught in some situations. I feel like things are gonna improve here too. And don't forget, you guys have character abilities. Your character abilities, for the most part, I'm not going to tell you to roll for them. You have to be like, with the exception of Blake, your premonitions. But like, Blake, I think you have a few Sam, you have a couple, and I think you've actually been using them pretty well. You've been telling me, like, hey, I want this guy. Hey, trust me, you know. Kenny, I actually don't know if you have any.
I think that was the only role that I've done, from what I remember.
I think he has only done one role.
You've not been put in a lot of situations, but
Yeah, at least yet.
I've been
Well, I'm
trying to
tired,
do what I
though.
can to bring all of your characters together, and I think it's hopefully about to come to a head. Oh,
Ooh.
Kenny, you do have some stuff that you would tell me that you'd roll for. It is one thing, but the sneaky is just like when you attack, you also get this, and your other thing is just this thing happens at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh my god, my fucking cat! Stop climbing, you asshole! She's climbing the baby gates. Okay, good. I put packing tape on the top baby gate so she has no grip.
Do you know cats hate chewed bubblegum? If you put that all over it, they won't want
Did you know that cats hate water? If you completely submerge it in water, they start really freaking out. Eventually,
After
they stop
about
though.
3
Like, they
entire
do get over
minutes,
it.
they get over
They
it.
get over it.
Just put a cover on top.
That's so fucked.
All right. So we will. We are now back to Neil and Avery. We're starting the game back up. To be clear, we are at Neil and Avery. You guys have arrived at the Flatters location. We're gonna skip the fact that Kenny has to reveal that he has, this information, needs to know this, because you've, Neil, have already told him everything. So that situation is averted. Genuinely, I would have made that a situation.
Oh.
As far as you can tell, Kenny, it does not look like Dr. Smithers is there, but you do recognize... after revealing everything to everyone, you get ushered into the tent with your McDonald's meal in tow. Neil and Evelyn, you are already seated kind of at this like little conference table. And Kenny, you actually recognize Shrimp Bitley at the head of the table. That son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch, you.
It's like, yeah, man, you son of a bitch.
You
Who are
you
you?
son of a bitch. Getting the crew back together.
He's like, yeah, man. What's your name again, man? What's going on? Hey. He does not remember you. He talks to a lot of people.
No, he doesn't remember me at all. Okay. I tell him that I saw him in the...
Use your character to speak to the guy.
Hey, Shrimp? Mr. Bitley, maybe?
Nah, that's my dad. Call me Shrimp.
Hey, Shrimp. Do you remember me? I saw you out in downtown. You and I had a conversation about many things, not limited to, but also including the pools and how I should watch out for them. And then you walked away.
As you say that, like, Shrimp is like, ha ha. Wait, no, hold on. Ha ha. And he shrinks in his chair a little bit as you say the pools, and all the rest of the group just kind of looks at him like, dude, you need to shut the fuck up to the populace.
You are telling people this?
It's like, yeah, man. I'm glad I...
Yeah.
Did it help?
Not yet.
Well, I'm glad you could make it. It seems like you made my compatriots here say that you made friends with Judy. We love Judy.
Yeah, she really helped us out of a tough spot. It was really convenient.
Judy Smithers.
Judy Smithers, yeah.
Smithers.
And he's like, well, yeah, man, go ahead and take a seat at the table. We're about to get started.
I sit.
All right, and with that, you...
There's a roll for sitting.
No.
Can I roll for having a better chair?
No.
Not like a better seat, but like an actual physically nicer chair.
No, you don't need to
We'll-
roll
we'll-
for that, but maybe you sit down and you don't like it, and you look around a little bit, and
Yeah.
you do see a beanbag close by.
Okay, yeah, I take that. I take that.
All right, you plop the beanbag down, and you sit down, and Evelyn gives you like a what? Eyes, but all the rest of the hippies in here are like gently nodding their
Damn.
heads, like, yeah, man, yeah.
Why didn't we think about bringing the beanbag to the meeting
Fuck
table?
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And so, let me think here. So after you take a seat, now, Neil, Avery, and Evelyn, you guys are now seated around the table. This is a different, still slightly different time frame from the situation that was happening with Blake. I'll reveal a more cohesive connection here in a little bit. But you are taking a seat here, and he's like, all right, the not-so-annual meeting of the Flatters is now commenced. Can we get a roll call? Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I think I see everyone here.
Yes.
And
Everybody
he's like,
except
all right,
Judy.
So we heard some stuff from Neil, our good friend Neil, Evelyn, and I think this nice young man, RV, is really gonna. Do you have any more crazy, wacky stuff to tell about what happened with the dog, man?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Oh
Yeah,
crap!
He
yeah.
said RV. He missaid your name.
Oh, that's really funny. So I don't want to do the whole
No.
rundown.
I
the
assume
complete-
you're just going to tell them everything.
Yeah, I will tell them everything. I will make sure that they know that we the I guess the major points that we came across multiple in the woods together.
Once I'll clarify, there is no woods. It's mostly plains.
Or
out
yeah,
there.
sorry, out in the pools or whatever.
No, I know.
So we came-
It's not a big deal. I'm
It's
trying
hard
to
to
repeat
remember.
it so that
Yeah.
because I think about it being in a forest sometimes, and I'm like, this isn't correct. I need to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I assume you just tell them everything. And he's like, all right, not that much different. I really, how are the? I heard it ate your face, man.
I was like, yeah, you want to see the scar? It's really cool.
And you maybe pull. You probably haven't seen it a lot because it's on your neck, but maybe you pull the bandage back a little bit and show the massive stitches that you have like along the side of your throat.
Yeah.
And all the guys are like, "Oh,
yeah, they're like, damn.
dude!"
It's like cooler than my 76th tattoo.
Like one of the dudes nibbling on a brownie. He looks at it and like scrunches his face and puts the brownie down. He's like, "Oh man." It's
man.
it's only a few days after you've been healed up from this thing, so the stitches are still in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you have no harm. There's no damage on you.
Right.
But after seeing that, he's like, "All right, man. I guess the only other bit of information we need here is our dear friend Vanilla Bean Jean. Could you take the stand?" Yeah, man. So
I stand there very confused, or I sit there in my beanbag, very confused at the concept of having two people named Shrimp Bitley and Vanilla Bean Jean in the same room. Just absolutely floored. I'm just so shocked. Sitting there with my hand in my head in my hands, fucking crying over the fact that we got Vanilla Bean Jean and Shrimp Bitley sitting there in the same room.
he's like, "Hey, man, yeah." And it's this very old looking, like all of these people are old in here, but like it's this very old looking guy, and he stands up with some help with a cane, and he's like, yeah, man. So I followed that lead on the dog because I was, wanting some weed money. And they're all like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I was able to catch the trail of the damn thing. Followed it back to this fucking scary ass building, man. I thought, hey, free dog. Fuck yeah. But this big fucking thing slapped the shit out of me. And he holds up like his arm, and it's got like a large like bandage across it. Like clearly he's taken some damage from whatever these things are. And he's like, yeah, no, I couldn't find the dog. I mean, I did, but like, I don't want to go back there and get it. Like this thing was basically putting it. I think there's a nest. And Shrimp's like, oh yeah, all right. Well, I guess we know where that is then. All right. Well, then this makes it for a simple, very very simple situation. Just like 84, man. And everyone else is like, 84.
Yeah, 84.
He's like, I don't. This is. And actually, like another person stands up. He's got a bit more like. He doesn't have a cane, but he's like very, very shaky old man. It probably not Parkinson's, but just like somebody who's like very fervent about everything. He's like, this isn't the same. This isn't the fucking same, man. We're gonna fucking die out there. We fought fucking worms. In a fucking 83. I don't understand why you think this is good. Look at these people. And he points to, Gene and, to you, Avery. He's like, these guys got their fucking asses handed to them. And that one is at least young. Like, I'm surprised you got back here in one piece, Gene. And Gene kind of looks sheepishly around. He's like, yeah, man, I kind of, yeah, I got out of it. I just ran. But as this conversation is happening, Evelyn raises her hand slowly and very politely. And she's like, am I missing something? And they all quiet down. It's like, you said that you have dealt with this before. It sounds like you haven't. You were saying something, Kenny?
No, I'm just seeing how they are. Yeah, like that's silly. I like that.
It seems like you haven't. And that old shaky guy is like, exactly. We fought fucking worms back in the day. There was something maybe as big as my fucking left calf, man. And he grossly puts his old man foot onto the table, sandals and shorts and all. And like, he's like, these things were smaller, and we fucking took care of them in one go. And we were like, damn, we're good at what we do. And then we disbanded, and now it's here again. What the fuck is happening?
Fuck.
And Shrimp, like, deflates a little more, and he's like, I don't know. I'll be honest, we can. And he turns to, like, you three newcomers, Neil, Avery, and Evelyn. He's like, I'll be honest, back in the day, there was a lot of weed and LSD going around. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we were monsters. We killed real worms. I was sober. I saw them. They were scary. Their heads split open. But they were basically like leg-long grubs, and they were they were getting into the water. And like we found their site, and we just basically just killed a bunch of them, as well as like a really big grub. But like we really thought that was the end of it. We thought it was some sort of weird infestation. This is way too similar. And as you can tell, and he gestures around the table, we're old. And
You're old.
and he clasps his hands together. And as does like a large majority of the rest of the table. He's like, we need your guys' help. Looking at you three. Not you, Blake. Ken, Avery, Neil, and Evelyn.
I look at them all and I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Getting the crew back together. It's my favorite plot point.
Some of them are...
We're turning this into a heist movie. You son of a bitch. I'm in.
Shrimp is taken aback, actually. He really was not expecting you guys, or at least you, to say yes to this so readily. Because this is... It's like, yeah, this is... I'll be honest, I didn't think you'd say yeah to this. This is a very new situation. And I feel like we were not very forthcoming about this when we first told you, but... This is real, this is scary, and we're not actually sure what entirely we're going into because we thought we dealt with it last time. And it was one time, and they were goddamn grubs. How about you two? And Evelyn looks over at you, Neil.
I might as well.
And Evelyn just kind of looks to them and nods her head to you, like, yeah, all right, we're in. He's like, fucking excellent, man. All right, well, we do have their location. We got some travel food. I assume, did you guys bring weapons?
Yes, sir. You know, I always pack a little heat.
All right, well, he's like, we can guide you, and then there's a lot of glaring. He's like, I can guide you to where Jane had found them. He pointed it out on the map to me. Actually, we'll be taking... Jane, wait, why aren't you going? He's like, all right, man, I'll go. And it's so hard to do, like, so many different hippie voices. And she's like, all right, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
One smoker.
I guess that makes sense, man. That makes more sense. I don't know why you volunteered in the first place. Yeah, I'll guide you guys to where I found it, but I and he points to, like, his cane and, like, what appears to be, like, old people legs in his shorts. He's like, I can't really help you all that much. Outside of maybe some support, I do have a gun, but I ain't a runner. That if those things are gonna get me, they gonna get me. So I guess follow me, and he starts heading outside.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
Am I able to stumble across something important here?
Yes, I've been waiting so long for you to say that.
I should have done that way earlier.
No. I appreciate you not abusing it because it doesn't say a limit. Can I tell the others what this is?
Yeah.
So since you're using it, especially since I'm describing it, one of the abilities he has taken is Oops. If you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problems. And so you... Let me think here. Fuck, you... I really was expecting you to just forget about that one. Give me a moment. You... find. As you're walking out of the room, you walk into the back, or you maybe you decide I'm gonna take a piss break real quick before you go, because nobody wants to piss their pants while facing down a monster. That's not a story you can tell your friends. And as you're walking towards the back, you see kind of like one of those like pin boards with with like it has pins attached to photos and red string connecting various things. And in the center of all of these pins, and they don't seem to necessarily be like there aren't photos of this other situation that you're dealing with right now. But in the center of it, you can see this weird design. It's almost like a logo. It looks like a hexagon, like with a red hexagon with a black outlined droplet in the center of it. And all of the strings seem to lead back to this. And maybe you look a little closer at all these things, and it's missing person here, like political vote in here. And then maybe you see something about like a collapse of the water facilities here, or a maybe like money funneled somewhere it shouldn't be here, and all of these are pointed to the center thing with a big question mark. And maybe that doesn't mean anything to you enough to like I don't know if you are wanting to talk about that, because it doesn't seem entirely relevant to the situation. If you choose to, that's fine, but this is something that maybe you take note as like, oh, this is odd.
Yeah, I think I'll just keep it as an observation.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you see all those pointing towards a central thing. And to be clear, it's not just a logo. It's like somebody took a picture of someone, zoomed in really close, and was able to get the logo off of like their shirt, or like something off of their person. So like you can vaguely tell what the logo is, because it's like drawn next to it. But you can tell that like these are connected to some people or something. But it's hard to tell beyond that. That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
I hope that's juicy enough.
Yeah, there were a lot of details with that. Wow.
Basically, in order to not overstep it, basically you just notice pinboard attached to this very strange emblem in this situation. And you take a piss and y'all head back outside, and sure enough, there is a hippie van waiting outside with Vanilla Bean Gene at the wheel. He honks and it plays Dixie, like as you would expect it. And I assume you all pile in with your weapons and go on your merry way. Would I be correct to say that? Hello?
Yeah,
Shit, I thought I
think so.
disconnected. I got scared for a second. Holy
No.
shit.
No.
Internet
I was.
crashed.
Yeah, I would think so.
All right. So we will now jump back to Blake. You have been walking back towards your place, right? After what is it? What was your goal of returning home to do? Let me ask.
Get help with the fucking factory, yeah?
Yeah. Did you have something in mind heading home, or were you just gonna wing it as you got there?
Get some authority.
Get some authority. Well, as you're this entire morning has been a blur, and maybe you've been just kind of out of it. So as you're walking home, maybe you don't notice as a very wacky van passes by you. Like you've just recently gotten back onto the mainland from outside of the from the outskirts of town, like from the very outskirts of town. And you're walking next to a road when a van that is covered in Austin Powers power flowers is working its way down the street. And in this moment, we actually do have all three characters here, not in a fight. And Kenny, I assume you're in the passenger seat, and you actually see her in her.
Why am I in the car with them? I drove here by myself in my snowmobile with my guns.
Shrimp wanted all of y'all to hop into his hippie van. Okay. And he's driving you guys to the location.
Okay, as long as the vibes are right, I'm in.
Oh yeah, it's a hippie van. He played Dixie, man.
Oh yeah.
But you sitting in the passenger seat are able to see Corey with unfamiliar scratch marks all over her lower half, as well as dried blood on her forehead.
Why is she so hurt? What the heck?
The
holy moly, it's Corey. We gotta pull over.
Gene is like, who? What? And he sees her and he's like, oh shit! And he I feel like you were just kind of walking back home, Blake. You're just fucking walking almost in the middle of the road, and he fucking slams on the brakes.
Kenny's character says slam the brakes. I know that person. What?
No, like you were walking on the road, man.
Why was I walking on the road? Oh.
You were just heading home and distracted and shit, and he, for whatever reason, Gene was packing a bong while driving. He's like, oh shit, and he slams on the brakes. He's like, fuck, she had those cuts before, right, man? You saw it.
Oh, he hit me?
No, he didn't. But he's just fucking freaked out.
He probably splashed some snow up on you.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, do I know who they are?
You can actually see Avery in the passenger seat, and you recognize him as being the guy from the hospital. I think you also know him a little bit externally from that, and he has a gun on his lap, as do majority of the rest of the people in the car have some weapon nearby. Basically about to head towards the edge of town, towards that direction. Vanilla Bean Gene kind of turns his car a little bit and like pulls over next to you and rolls down the window. He's like, "Hey man, you okay? I didn't hit you, right?"
He's talking to me.
He's talking to you.
I say, I don't know who the fuck.
You have no fucking idea who this guy is.
I say, who the fuck are you? Why'd you stop?
My man's Gene Sassafras Wilkins de Lavoisier III, but people call me Vanilla Bean Gene.
What the fuck, dude? Go away. That's what he said. He says, I need to get to the fucking police.
Get to the police. What is there, a robbery or some shit? What's going on? Just kidding, man.
Okay. Bye. I think this
okay. Corey.
Yeah, you gonna step up?
Yeah, please.
Corey,
I don't want to railroad you, man.
Corey.
Oh.
It's Avery from the hospital room.
You
Please.
let me go. You're cool. What's up?
Oh, please. We are on our way to figure out maybe a little bit more about the situation with all these these weird ass creatures and shit.
My mom just got kidnapped by a shadow man, so I need to do that. Help with that first.
Cool. We will help you.
Whoa.
Get in the van. Please get in the van.
Okay. But you will help me with my mom's shadow man. Is this correct?
Absolutely. I'd love to kill a shadow man.
He honks the horn. It's just like, yeah, man, get in.
I don't want to talk to you, but I'll let you drive me.
All right. And he presses a button. And he presses he presses a button and
dude.
he
As Corey gets in, is it Vanilla Bean Jean or
It's Vanilla
Shrimp
Bean
Italy
Jean.
driving? Okay.
If I was
It's
a
Gene.
young woman walking down the street and someone swerved their car to miss from hitting me, got out and introduced himself with that fucking name,
No,
I'd
he
run.
pulled up and he was like, I think he this guy's kind of high right now, and
Yeah, dude,
he's
that
not
doesn't
entirely sure
help.
he didn't hit you.
I'm out of there, dude.
He sees you
Scary.
covered in scratches and shits, and he's like, I didn't hit you, man, right? Did I hit you? Okay, but you hop inside. What did you say,
good.
Kenny?
Oh, nothing. Never mind. I kind of forgot. So moving swiftly onward.
But you hop into the back with you recognize them as vaguely as Neil and the person who was with Neil the night that you guys were fighting the dog, and both of them are also armed to the teeth.
I say, oh, Avery, do you know this guy too? Did you get to talk to each other? We haven't met yet.
No, you've met Neil. You guys
Where I
were
met Neil.
Yeah, Neil and Ev drove us to the hospital on
Also-
my
I was like-
snowmobile.
Also, first session, I asked some like friendship, acquaintanceship questions, and you guys
Oh
had
yeah,
like
that's right. I forgot.
you recognize him as being the other kid, the other new kid to town. You maybe don't recognize Evelyn as readily,
Dude, it's been a month and a half and I haven't even talked to these guys in person, so.
but
I
you haven't
forgot.
interacted with a lot of other humans though. So
Yeah. So I say, oh hey guys, I guess we're all back together again. Let's go find another monster.
Evelyn chuckles, and Jean puts the car in drive and starts continuing off into the direction. She's like, we apparently there's a bunch of hippies that fight these things. To you, Corey.
What?
Yeah, there's an underground group of. Wait, Gene, can I tell this? Yeah, man, go crazy, man. He takes another hit off of his bong, and she's
Dude.
like, yeah, apparently there's an underground group of hippies who have been fighting these things since, I think, like the 80s. At
Sounds
least they fought
fake.
them. At least they fought them once.
That sounds fake.
I
just
know
seen
it
on
sounds
the internet.
very fake. I kind of don't believe it myself, but sure enough.
Listen, is this actually gonna fucking take me to my mom and help, or I'm gonna go to the police? I don't trust in hippies. Why should I trust you guys?
We have guns.
You have guns. So do the police, and they're enforced.
I don't know. Neil, maybe you can explain
Listen,
this
my
better than
mom's
me.
life is dire. I need to get actual help.
Let's see.
Hello, anybody?
I'm trying to think of something to say.
I'm wanting someone else
Um,
to take the reins here and.
I got a gun
Yeah.
too.
Well, Corey, I kind of hate to break it to you, but it seems like the situation that you might be in right now, it might be related to what we're trying to figure out.
Is this true? My mom is about to die right now. Can we do that first?
Hey man, you come from a big fucking weird factory?
Mm-hmm.
You get scratched up to shit by something?
Yes.
He holds out his arm, he's like, alright, sick, me too, man. And his arm has
Is
a
this the
bandage
same
across
thing? How do we know it's the same? Can we go to the factory?
it. You guys are, you can tell that you guys, since you got in the car, they've been heading in the direction of the factory.
Okay, good. Thank you. Got my gun.
Are there, I assume, are you guys generically, you don't have to act it out or anything, but are you going to catch each other up on any of the situations that have happened? Any extraneous conversations we should be aware of before we get to the...
I say, to Avery, I saw you beat up that one dog that last time. I know you're really good at combat. Have you prepared to fight this then?
Oh yeah, I'm prepared. I brought my brass knuckles just so I can beat things up better.
I saw its fingers are really long, like salad fingers, but bigger.
Don't
And
worry. I'll break its fingers with my brass knuckles. I'll curb stomp his fingies with my brass knuckles.
I trust your brute strength, Avery. But Neil, what do you have to pack? I have this gun. What do you got?
Uh, I might be the only person in this van that doesn't have a gun. I have a
What?
baseball bat, and I have my mom's painters.
Painters.
We'll see how well they get.
What's painters? That's outside of.
I think you cut off.
Oh
I think your
yeah.
mic cut off for a
Oh,
second.
All we heard was
What do you
painters,
do?
Sam.
Oh, uh, just a painter's tool, a multi-tool, a 15
Oh,
and 1.
I see.
Do you show them all 15?
Well, you think you can use
This
that
one
back to
is the
defend yourself?
scissors. This one is the saw.
This one's the gun.
This one is my
What is the
gun.
gun? I like that.
No,
I eat
there's
that.
no gun attached to it.
God, that'd be so fucking funny.
But you guys, after a much shorter ride than it took for you to walk, Blake, but still maybe like a good 10, 15 minutes, you guys arrive to the outside of the this large factory. Kenny and Neil, you guys see basically what Blake had seen. Large dilapidated factory, things on the inside.
Listen, guys. There's no time to spare. I know where it is. We all have to go there. Who is the best at ranged capabilities right now?
That
Who's down in that hole?
that might be me. Evelyn says, like, holding up like a hunting rifle.
Hunting rifle. Good. We need
I
that
also have a
stake
hunting rifle.
because I played paintball with my dad, so I know how to like put people in houses. He was military.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Right on.
So Evelyn can. I guess Avery with the brass knuckles. I tell you,
I have a gun as well. I have a hunting rifle
you have a
as well.
gun. I'd say we need to get my mom out of that hole, please. I'm begging you guys. Is there any plan we can formulate to get us positioned in a way we can do that? Now, fast.
Yeah, let's let let's let the fucking hippie call the shots because he's dealt with some of these creatures before. He may know a little bit better than we do about some of their strategies or like where their weak points are or whatnot.
Man, we just brought a knife. I'll be real. Back in the day, it was a big issue with the water factory, or not the fuck. That's not what it's called. The water plant, and
I
like
don't care about your water plant, man. We gotta save my mom. Let's go.
it was full of like worms that had their face split open, and like there were the worms like with the split open. We just kind of went in there, like high on really fucking high with knives and just started
Okay, we're
stabbing
leaving this
him.
guy behind. We're leaving this guy behind. We gotta save my fucking mom.
I'll be honest, this is
Okay,
not
we
something I've dealt
leave.
with before.
We fucking run to the fucking house.
All
I
right,
love
if
the
you
house,
need
oh my
anything.
I gotta save my fucking mom, dude. Stop talking about your high trips. I run to the house. I don't know what the other guys do.
What do you
Yeah,
guys do?
I'm good to go. I don't even really care. We have numbers advantage now. We can storm this bitch. It's fucking full in.
Fucking the conversation guy took all of our time.
Same strat as last
I'll be
time.
out here.
Fucking-
I'll be out here if you guys need a quick
Shut the
getaway.
fuck up.
All
I
right.
need guns. We need people. Go.
Y'all get out of the van and start heading towards the door. Blake, I assume you are taking the lead a little bit here since you're much more avid to get inside. Do you fully go in there?
Yeah, dude. I know where it is. I'm running.
Oh, you're straight running for it.
Yeah.
All right. So you beeline it for the inside. I assume you probably haven't told anything that you've learned to Avery or Neil yet. So do you guys just follow in step?
Yeah.
Or I guess actually, what do you guys do here? Corey has just kind of ran into the building with you guys were close behind, and she just started taking off.
Yeah, I would obviously follow. I'm prepared for a lot of different scenarios, so I'll follow close behind. Let let Corey
Oh,
lead the way
sorry.
since.
So are you gonna be like behind the whole group then?
No, I'll probably be right with Corey.
Oh, okay. Um, I'll probably be behind the group. Um, Evelyn will be probably right in front of me, but I'll just kind of guard and make sure that it seems like everyone is still here before need to get to where we need to go.
So Blake's running in with Avery close behind. Evelyn's basically keeping behind, and you're just you're cautiously at the end.
Pretty much, yeah. Considering I only have a baseball bat and a multi-tool.
I kind of like ran in thinking Avery would be the muscle behind me without even asking. I
Yeah,
was like,
Oh yeah, I mean that's what's happening here.
yeah.
So as you guys are getting inside, maybe the first two of you guys are just going straight for or Blake, you're just heading straight for the thing. I don't think you're paying anything no mind. You're just beelining it for it, and there's nothing clearly in the way. But Neil, you sitting in the back with you being kind of like taking up the rear. I'm gonna actually have you do a read a bad situation roll here.
Okay. Um,
So that's your 2d6 plus your sharp score.
got it. It's +1. Okay, so it's 2d6 +1. All right. Ooh,
Oh my fucking god. All right.
this is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, I don't know if you can see the read a bad situation section of the reference sheet.
Yes.
So on a 10 plus, you have 3 questions you're allowed to ask me, the keeper. But on a 12 plus, you can ask me any question you want about the situation, not just the listed ones. If you have a specific question about the scenario that you might want to reveal, you could use that, but a lot of the times those other questions are really good. And you can ask those 3 questions anytime for as long as the situation is running through. You could ask them all 3 up front, or you could choose to space them out over the course of this encounter. But each answer I give you, additionally, if you ask something like, for instance, one of the questions is, what's my best way out? And I tell you, if you have to roll to escape, you get a +1 to that roll, in addition to whatever else you were doing. So
Oh,
the relevant answers, you gain a +1 while acting on those answers that I give you, while the information is relevant.
okay.
So no pressure.
I will ask one right now.
Sure.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yes. Directly above you guys, lurching from like rafter to rafter. I guess they wouldn't be rafters. They're kind of like those lifted walkways that you can find inside of factories. You can see that there is a shadowy thing kind of leaping between them. And you hear creaks every now and then, but for whatever reason, it is moving along the ones that seem to be pretty quiet. But you are the first to notice this. This thing is above, and it's not just lurking, but it is keeping up. It has not made itself directly known to the rest of you guys yet, though.
Mm, okay.
So you guys are going to... are you going to act on this at all, or are you just going to hold on, keep this information to yourself, and let the group keep going?
Um, hey guys, just a heads up. Quite literally, I guess. There seems to be something going on above us, so, um,
And
don't just be worried about any of the stuff that we're gonna have to be running towards. I guess just keep your heads up.
as you say this out loud, maybe you look up at it, and it sees you, and its first response now is no longer to follow you guys as you get close to the thing, but it leaps down
Oh.
directly onto Evelyn.
Oh, shoot.
And Evelyn gets knocked to the ground. She's holding she's holding her rifle against like this thing's chest. It is at this point you can see it a lot better. It is a dog. It is one of the dogs. It is potentially even the other dog that you had seen that night. But it is she's using her hunting rifle to kind of hold it at bay, with like holding it against its neck as its tentacle face is unlatching and trying to clamp down on her as hard as it can. But she's fending it off for the moment.
Hmm. Are we able to do some damage to it?
You can do some damage. You can get her out of the situation. I'll tell you, if you choose to try to just straight up attack it, that'll be a kick some ass roll where you will also take damage. If you're wanting to prevent harm to Evelyn, there is a protect someone move that you can take that we haven't had take yet. And there is also act under pressure if you're just wanting to disengage the situation entirely. But you'd have to dictate to me what you're wanting to do. But Evelyn looks like she's like about to get hurt, and there are a number of ways you could go about this. I would suggest for you being a not too tanky character to not kick some ass. But if that's what you feel is best, you can definitely do something like that.
I think,
I will also say that with this being as quick and surprising as it is, even if even Corey and Avery, you guys might have seen it happen, but you had a lot of forward momentum, and she was behind you. So Neil, you are the only person who can really intercept this in this moment.
oh, shoot. Um, okay, I'm gonna try to protect her.
All right, give me a protect someone roll. So that is plus your tough score, plus 1. So whatever your tough score is, add another 1 to it. Actually, what is your tough score?
Gotcha.
Your tough is 0, so basically 2d6 plus 1.
All right. Oh.
Oh, it has to be roll exclamation.
Yeah.
There you go. 7.
Um,
No, that's not bad. So she was that thing was getting close to her head, and as it was like opening its maw, getting ready to do it, you with your still full like sprint enabled, I'll let you pick out of character. Do you take some or all of the harm they were going to get?
I will take some.
Okay. You tackle this thing off of her, like full body tackle. Like if your dad had seen you do this, he would have immediately pushed for you to join football. And in doing so, this thing, with its claws kind of dug into her, does rip her up a little bit. And as it does so, it caught off balance, slaps you across the face with one of its mouth tentacles, dealing you 1 harm.
Mm. That's my
Luckily, it
arm.
did not clamp you down, but you have full body tackled this animal creature and knocked it off. Evelyn's able to get back to her feet. You two are now completely aware of the situation. What is your response to this happening now? Because you guys can now do something if you choose to. There's no, I'll say this isn't D&D. There's no turn order.
This is just input when you think you can.
Yeah, input where you think you can or where you think it might be relevant.
So, could you give us just a quick rundown of the orientation of how everything's set up, right? Like,
Yeah. Corey
Or-
and you were everyone was making a beeline for wherever Corey was heading, which was the trapdoor that was already opened. And with the order being Corey, Avery, Evelyn, and then Neil. Something was in the rafters above, kind of tailing you guys, or not even tailing you, it was just directly on top of you, following you, trying to remain unseen. As soon as Neil revealed it, it jumped down onto Evelyn. You guys were still kind of running forward, and Neil was the only person, behind and with momentum enough to really stop Evelyn from taking a buttload of damage. But at this point, it has been knocked to the floor. Now a little bit closer to you, like in your direction, Corey and Avery, with Neil standing between it and Evelyn. So technically, in a line order, it would be Corey, Avery, the tentacle dog, the squid dog, Neil, Evelyn, but not directly spaced. And because this isn't D&D, there's no move action, so you don't have to be like, am I 30 feet away? Can I run up?
yeah, okay.
It just has to make sense. In the
Sure.
Case of the
Yeah,
situation.
can I go ahead and take a shot with my hunting rifle?
Sure.
Because if it's knocked down, so it knows where I am.
It does. This would not be a
But-
sneak attack. Wait, would this be a sneak attack?
It also allows me to do from behind attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just load
So
up
if-
your weapon
if I'm like
and take a
relative,
fire.
if it's like laying on the floor with Evelyn and they're like at least kind of facing away from me, then I should definitely try and take this shot.
Alrighty. I think this is a kick. Are you going to kick some ass, Kenny?
You know it.
I need to hear you say it.
I'm gonna kick some butt. I'm gonna
Alright.
kick some ass.
Roll it, baby.
D6 plus 1 for tough. Fuck.
5.
Well,
Okay. Could. How much luck do I have? How many points of luck do I have?
You have 7.
I would love to change this to mark this roll as luck if I could.
Absolutely. Mark it down.
Got it.
Additionally, so this roll is a 12. We'll deal with, you know what? Let's deal with this first. So you feel Lady Luck's grimy little fingers help aim your gun down, and you ping this thing through, the back of its head.
Beauty.
It doesn't kill it. But this thing fucking... Holy shit. It stumbles hard. And as it starts looking around, you realize you got it in the eye. Actually, let me be more specific.
The exit wounds on the eye.
Let me be more... I realize I'm doing something here. Let me be straight, because I forgot. You made this a 12. On a 12 plus, you can pick an enhanced effect for a kick some ass roll. You completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 moving forwards. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy away in a rout. You can pick one of those options as an enhanced effect in addition to whatever your attack. So you rolled a 12, so it's gonna hit. It's gonna do some damage.
So, double normal harm does not double the additional harm from my sneaky, correct?
Uh,
Because if it does, then it's a no-brainer. I go fucking double
yeah, this does double harm,
harm,
but
and it would kill.
but to be clear, you will still take some damage from this situation. I will make sure this gets rectified properly, but as long as you understand the consequence of the situation.
I feel like I'm getting really hardened, so I'll take a hit for it.
Alrighty. This thing is knocked down by Neil, and you, being the person behind, do a very you turn on a dime, in a very
way I fucking Modern Warfare 2 intervention quickscope it.
no you turn on a dime, and immediately jump towards it and plant your knee into it. It is able to. It starts struggling a little bit, and in doing so, it is able to claw you right across like your side, right in your kidney area. So you do take a harm, but in pinning it down with your knee, you plant the gun right behind its beak and pull the trigger, and it just immediately stops moving.
Holy cannoli!
Whoa.
Wow, luck rolls are broken.
They are. Additionally, so this situation has very quickly de-escalated. That fire and that what is it? The firing of that bullet definitely has alerted something that's down below, which you will be having to deal with in a moment. But in this moment of like, yeah, you get a chance to look around. And I'll tell you now that when you mark off a luck, the flake special is, when you spend a point of luck, pick an aspect of the current situation. I will tell you what other conspiracies that aspect connects to.
I suppose like the only thing that makes sense for my character to know about and also not have like weird implications from like, oh, I wonder if this is like personal things, would be to just say I'd like to know more about the conspiracies connecting to Corey's mom's kidnapping thing, because I think that relates to this, because we're chasing down the thing.
When
but I
you,
would like to know how that connects to the.
I can do something with that. I can work with this. When you fire this shot, you can hear like some activity from down below, but you also hear human whimpering and like concern, like something that would like almost like someone is unable to speak but is still, kicking and screaming, like they might be bound or something like that. And it connects in your conspiracy riddled mind that every single situation that has involved some form of attack from these things that you have seen so far has not been a flat out kill and consume. It has been a capture, or at least an attempted capture. And that makes you wonder, what do they have planned for this?
Yeah,
The kid was attempting to be captured. The dog was attempted to be rescued from here. And now the mother is trapped downstairs. Clearly still alive, which, Blake, you also hear. Your mom is still alive. But it connects in your head that there might be a very important reason why they might be capturing as opposed to flat out killing. Because it would be, let's be honest, much easier to drag a corpse back to their lair. And that is what I'll give you. Are you satisfied with that for your luck roll?
I'm more than satisfied. That was an incredible amount of information.
Is that what it?
Say again, Blake?
Is that what that implies? I guess he has to tell me that information before I can ask that.
You hear your mom. I mean, If
Oh.
you
Yeah.
decide to reveal that,
At least you know your mom is alive, but I've connected the dots that these things are up to no good with capturing people instead of just like being ravenous.
Oh, I see.
and yeah, and so now this place is empty, but you can hear, you hear your mom kind of, Blake, you hear your mom still whimpering down below. Evelyn has kind of caught her breath here a little bit because she almost got her face chomped down on by a squid dog, as
Whoa.
I'm certain will take hold as the official name for these things. And what do you guys do? Do you guys just continue to beeline it for down the hatch?
I'll after making some observations from the luck roll, I will let them know that they should keep their eyes out for more signs of people being captured, or because I think I'll explain like they're not just like hunting and killing things; they're capturing them and holding them in captivity. So we got to be more careful.
All right, you give them the
And
gist
be
of that,
observant.
and I think maybe they internally make those connections too. Of, oh, the kid was also just being captured, and so was that dog, I guess, from what Jean has said, which is interesting. And Blake, I guess you are the one with the most need for speed. Uh, what do you do?
There's a dog outside right now.
The dog is dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, Kenny fucking
I
held it to
pumped
the ground with
after
his knee, put the gun to its freaking head, and fired a freaking bullet into its freaking brain.
that was payback for me getting literally mauled in my head the last time.
Yeah.
Let's go into the place.
All right. With that, after having finished off that dog, you guys now slightly more carefully begin heading towards the trapdoor. And as you get there looking down, you hear the gurgles that were normally down there, or that you had heard beforehand, start to fade until it is quiet. And Evelyn turns to each of you and says, "Well, who's first?" And I'm going to end the session here.
Thank you.
Oh
I'm
wow.
tired. That's a good stopping point. I was getting too tired to think of any fun responses.
No, you're good. I'm trying to cap these at 3 hours, so I think we hit a nice time frame here. And that was about Jesus Christ, Kenny.
Dude. I didn't know I brought my sawed-off shotgun to the fucking. It's so fucking insane.
I just imagine you turning like a linebacker, and then
Dude, I thought you were
sprinting
gonna let me
back.
hit like a fucking Xbox 360 like double YY silent knife cancel like intervention trick shot. I thought that's the route that you're gonna let me take, but this is also significantly cool.
Yeah, I had
It's
to.
amazing.
I wanted to. It would have been much cooler if you just planted one between its eyes from behind, but I think I still had to make you take some damage. So I'm like, okay, this is still a good way to do it. And I'm glad I also got you to do a few more rolls here, Sam, especially ones that made sense.
Oh yeah.
And so with that, yeah, we are done with the session. We do a quick end scene here. Even a worm will turn.